Hey guys, welcome to the Academic Answers podcast. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. Always a pleasure to have you here. And this is a podcast where we talk about happiness, success, full potential, living your best life, becoming your best self, living a life on purpose, a life that you don't want a holiday from, a life that is worthwhile and is not riddled and suppressed with regrets as you go on into your older years, and you can hold up in your hands what you have produced, what you have come up with, the creation of from your own initiative and efforts and your own life. And that is powerful. Nothing is more powerful than to live that type of life. And in order to live that type of life, you have to create it. And that's what we talk about here. We talk about not living by chance, but living by your own decisions, and not as a result of other people's thinking, but as a matter of your own decisions and choices. Because choices and decisions shapes destiny. It shapes where you go. It shapes where you end up in the main. So we talk about how we get to do that, and we share principles and strategies and life lessons that is proven and that is common over the years with people who have managed to secure this life for themselves. And there are loads of commonalities, there are loads of proven steps. As the saying goes, success leave clues. And we answer questions that we get from the efforts we make to do blogs, videos, and written material in this area of personal development. Happiness, freedom, success, money, discipline, love, relationships, all that stuff that contribute to a better you. Because that's what it's about. Because if you cannot become better, then you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, then you cannot be happy. And if you cannot be happy, what else is there? As Rick Marr said. This question is about, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to make a decent life for myself and my family? I've tried so much. Why do I have to go so much struggles? I follow methods and systems. I listen to podcasts like these. I watch videos like these. But it is hard. It takes a long time. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of sacrifice. I don't think everybody have it so hard. But you know, that's the first point to start from, and to start to make it easier for you. I get it. I know how hard it is. Trust me, I know. Everything that is worthwhile is difficult. You know, some people you may take for granted because you are literate and numerate now that it was easy to teach you. But it wasn't easy at all. You went to school every single day for hours, and they gruel you on the alphabet, numerals. They gruel you on they push you on grammar and all that stuff. 4 years, at least 3 years before you could put sentences together. And even in high school, after 10 years of being out there, you get to 16 and you still tripping up over your grammar. It is so hard, even when you are in the best of systems, to get anything good. There is a built-in struggle to high achievement, a built-in struggle. Jesus Christ himself came to earth, if you believe in God, in Jesus. And it was a struggle. He got crucified. He paid the ultimate price to bring his message across, to get to the mission that he was on. Everything comes with a struggle. And unless you are willing to go through that. Why is that struggle so much? I don't know. My best guess is that it is shaping you to appreciate, because it is shaping you to make it feel good. Because without the failures, without the obstacles, success wouldn't feel so good, because you'd have nothing to compare it to. Just like our generation now, it's so easy for everything to be fine and everything to be served to them, so they become spoiled. That's what happened to human beings. When it is good for too long, we become spoiled. You know, when I was growing up, there's this gentleman, I'll tell you the story, and I'll kind of bring it home for you what's going to happen if you keep trying, and what the effort means and what the struggles mean. There's this guy who used to come and say to Grandma, I used to say, Miss Adeline, Miss Carr, can you give me some corn? And Grandma would give it to him, and then some other time he would come and, can I get some peas? And he's always coming to ask for something. And then sometimes he would pass the farm and he would say, wow, this your corn, your yams look so good. Look at your peas. They're so nice. It's mushrooming. I'm sure you're going to get a good crop. And Grandma would say, yes, they're coming along all right. And I remember one time he came to the house trying to get, I think it was some bananas. And he was saying that he didn't have any bananas and if my grandmother could give him some. So I was sitting there with Grandma. I think I just came home from school. And the guy was talking, and he asked Grandma never answered him. And then he kept on talking, and then he asked again. And Grandma said something to the effect to him to the effect of, if you don't have any bananas, you won't have any bananas. You don't have any corn, you won't have any corn. You don't have any peas, you won't have any peas. Because there are two reasons why people don't have the things they need. And there are two reasons why you don't have crops. It is either that it is not ready yet, it's not matured yet, it's not time for harvest yet, or you haven't planted anything. Two reasons why you will not get to some levels. No matter how hard it is, there are two reasons why you will not get there. You either didn't plant, or what you plant hasn't matured as yet. So I'm saying to you as a word of encouragement that if you're planting, if you're putting seeds in the ground, if you are making that effort, if you're investing time, if you're investing money, if you're working at it, your harvest will come. The only man that has to worry is the lazy man, as Abraham Lincoln says. He says is that it is a working man who is happy and the lazy man who is miserable. If you are doing something, then there is something coming. The anticipation of something coming is sometimes even more powerful than the thing itself. When you know you have nothing coming, when you know you have nothing to pick up and go with. That's why I always tell people, start your side hustle, start your business, start something that you control. Start something that you can actually make the decisions about. Start something that it is in your domain to do. And even if you have not taken it to the highest level, even if you are not doing all the work that you're supposed to do on it, even if you are not geeked out every day on it and it is not at a reasonable level yet, but start it. Start it and keep building it. Because when shit hit the fan, when stuff start to go bad, when they tell you to go from the job, when they piss you off, when you get a pay cut, when things start getting worse in your current situation, at least you're not starting from 0 or below 0. There is a 3 or a 5 in terms of level where you can get going and crack it out, and it will be less frustrating for you, because when you start something and you know the potential of it, and you know somewhere in you that you are able to get to this potential, it gives you hope. And without hope, our hearts would break. When you do that, it gives you hope. And without hope, our hearts would break. If you can get something going, if you can research something, feel the passion for it, start to develop and start to create it, something that is yours. If things start to go bad, as things often do in life, everybody have their obstacles, everybody have their challenges. When that starts to happen, you will feel more hopeful instead of more frustrated, because in the middle of losing everything, in the middle of trying to get a grip on what's going to happen to your life, how bills are going to be paid, it is hard to find something to move on, or it's hard to start all the way from zero. So if you start it now while it is there's some form of a cushion, there's some form of a safety net with your job and your current situation, it's the best place to start from. While desperation is rock bottom, is the start for most people, desperation and rock bottom is not the easiest place to start from, because now you're running several different paradigms. You have the pressures, you have the doubts, you have the bills, you have everyday life, and everything is coming at you, 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 coming at you. It is hard to make things work in these situations. So you want to do it before you actually need it. You want to do it when you want it. You want an extra 500. You probably don't need it. You want an extra 2,000. You probably don't need it. If you wait until you need it, then you get desperate and you will spin your wheels, you will lose money, you'll take unnecessary risks, and you will end up in more problems. So the savvy thing to do, the wise thing to do, is to go before you are ready. Go now. Go when it's okay. Go when you have a little security. Go when you have a little resources that you can help your way along, help yourself along, so it can propel you a little bit. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you're at zero. Don't wait until there is something that is more things holding you back. It's bad enough that there's a bunch of things that you have to cycle through. You don't want to add to that. If you want to go far and if you want to go fast, you want less weight. You want to be lighter. And the mental weight is heavier than the physical weight. You can get somebody to help you push your physical weight. You hardly can get anybody to help you to go through the insecurities and the fears and the doubts and the lack of belief and all that stuff that goes on in your mind that cripples you, that will make you lose sleep, so you're tired in the morning, that so you don't have enough energy and you don't have the clarity to get to where you want to go. So I'm saying to you, yes, it is hard. That's how it is. It is a built-in thing. It's not going to be easy ever, right? But you want to sit on the pillar of hope that says, I have something going. I'm working on something. A lot of times the difficulty is not exactly real difficulty. It's a matter of perspective. You know, we want it fast. We're getting impatient. We think it happens overnight. The average time a small business takes to get to any decent level that it can be scaled and that you can relax 1 minute is 7 years. That's the same time a doctor takes to get his degree. That's the same time a lawyer takes to get his degree. But then he go work for somebody else. You're a small business. You get it. You have trumped him 20 years because now he has to work his degree, get his experience before he can even go into his own practice. That may take him 20 years. Now you have done 7 years and you're right at that point where you are on your own doing your own thing. Don't overestimate what you can do in 1 year and underestimate what you can do in 5 years. That's what most people do, as the quote says. So we are thinking that, yeah, this year I'm going to do that, this year I'm going to do that. And then before you know it, the year passes and you've done nothing, instead of setting realistic, actionable goals to get to a certain place in 5 years. Do you know how fast 5 years is? 5 years is a really, really, really short time. But do you know how many things can happen in 5 years? Loads of things. If you commit to something, if you have a plan, if you have a strategy and a workflow that is repeating and consistently testing, working and learning and moving, that can make miracles. That can totally turn around. Because the thing with success, I always say this, it is not linear, it's exponential. So at year 1, you manage to get the result of 10, whatever that 10 is relating to. Year 2, you're at 20. Year 3, you're at 30. Year 4, You're not at 30 in a linear way. You're suddenly at 70. And then in year 5, you're at 150. And then before you know it, year 10, you had probably 1,000. Because these things are exponential. Once you put in the work and you form that base and it starts to come together, then it starts to happen. There's a momentum that you get. And that momentum will take you all the way to the top to unimaginable and incredible levels. So while it's hard, I'll say to you, not give up. Don't give up, don't give in. And I can't stop quoting this from Jay-Z. He was in this 60 Minutes interview and they're talking about all the albums and they're talking about his ability to write. They're talking about his talent. They're talking about the business moves he made. They're talking about how he stopped selling drugs and managed to turn his life around. And they were giving him all these accolades and props. The interviewer asked him, so what do you think contributed to all of this stuff? How did you get to this level? And he said to himself that the genius thing we did growing in this business and coming through all these struggles to get to this level, the genius thing we did is that we never gave up. The genius thing we did is that we never gave up. Here's a guy from the hood valued at over $600 million who said that. I'm writing all these things, I'm making all these moves, I'm doing all these companies, I'm doing all these make all these successful companies. But the genius thing we did in all of that, the only genius thing is that we never gave up. That's where it is. Not giving up. Staying until. And I'll leave you with one thing. Take away the time limit of you becoming successful. Remove that. Get rid of it. Scrap it. Disregard it. Dump it. Take a leave of it. Move the time limit of you becoming successful. Decide instead, replace it with, as long as I live, I'll either live being a successful person or working on becoming a successful person. Never settle. That is the type of attitude it's gonna take. The attitude that's saying, I will either do it or I'll die trying. Have a good one. Go through, make it happen for yourself. Thank you.